how do I let go further? How do I move beyond this?
Yeah, how do I let go? How do I let go more and more? At first, you could say it's conceptually is that we have to recognize that the one that wants to let go can never let go of itself. So the question is like, who is this I that wants to let go? The reason that the ego can't let go of itself is because since it itself is an effort, that effort has to come into existence for it to do something. So that effort has to exist before that effort itself can try to do something. And in this case, I like to say it's like the letter P. The leg of the P is the effort itself, is the original effort. And then it loops around to try to come back and get rid of itself. And it can. It can temporarily. We don't deny that. There are plenty of things in our life that we know if I do that, I will be soothed for a while. Yes. So you could say this peak comes into play and it chops the circle part off and that dissolves and we feel relatively happy for a while. But in this example, what's still there? The original effort, the leg. So that it can't get to the root of itself to eliminate itself. It can't. It's like literally physically impossible. Because to make the effort, it has to come into existence. Okay, so it's like, okay, I'm picking up on this. I see how this works, right? Yeah, I chant for a while and I feel better. Yeah, that is the meditation I'm talking about. The coming back to soothe itself is what I'm describing as meditation. And it does work for a while. And then it grows that circle back. Then it needs more meditation, you could say. So it's understanding at first the ego itself, no matter how hard it tries, in fact, the harder it tries, the more it can't get out of itself. Okay, so it's acknowledging that. So how does this work? If I come back to this same example, well, this effort is who we've taken ourselves to be. So the only tool that we actually have in our toolbox is our egoic mind. That is our tool. So we have to use that tool somehow, some fashion, some form. We have to use that tool. But instead of coming back and trying to eliminate itself, it turns into a you. Instead of coming here, it keeps just turning back here. This is the remembering. This is what dissolves it. So we could say that at first these P's are big. These are big P's, and we're trying to get out of ourselves by terms like letting go and relinquishing. And then we could say we turn like, oh, self-enquiry, this is new. Nobody's showed me this before. And this is turning back for this effort to remember who it is. So it efforts itself back home. This is remembering. And the more it remembers, these big U's get smaller and smaller and smaller until it collapses. So it's not the ego getting out of itself. It can't. It's the ego remembering who it actually is. And how do we do that? Self-enquiry. It always comes back to self-enquiry. You will never know the answer. Ever. Until you surrender into self-enquiry. And you turn the P into U. Capital U. Y-O-U. A horseshoe, you could say. So how do I let go? Well, you don't. It appears to, right? This is the conundrum. This is the paradox. This is the perplexity of it all. Because this is this. This is an effort. The P is an effort. The U is an unefforting. The horseshoe is the relentless pursuit of effortlessness. We're busting our butt to become effortless. It makes no sense. Which is another pointer. The truth is nonsensical. It's illogical. It's irrational. It's unknowable. It can't make sense that this could be the truth. And only by turning within does the understanding, it's inherently understood how it works. That it can be this. That it is this. So when your experience, when the experience of self, which is a non-objective experience of itself, which could be labeled as that is a nonsensical, illogical, irrational experience, which is peace. How can that be? It's just conundrum after conundrum after conundrum, or it contradicts itself over and over and over itself when we talk about it. Right? In the conceptual world, it's just one contradiction after another, after another, after another, after another.